Right, so what's happening to all these companies that took a bounce back loan and got struck off? We've all heard the stories. A director has used the loophole of company dissolution or a strike off to avoid paying back the bounce back loan. Now, I don't know the exact figure of how many companies slipped through this net, but I'll give you an indication. In Q1 of 2021, the strike-offs were up 743%. So I'm not a rocket scientist, but the vast majority of those strike-offs were actioned by directors who've taken a bounce back loan and was hoping to use the strike-off process as a loophole to avoid paying it. In stepped the government. They brought in this new law, making it illegal to try and strike a company off that's got a bounce back loan. But I get a lot of questions. Well, what happens? I've got a friend who struck off his company with a bounce back loan accidentally. What's going to happen? So here are the options. The most likely option is the bank is going to reinstate the company. And the reason the bank will do that is they are unable to claim on their government guarantee if your business has been struck off. The only way they can claim on the government guarantee is if your business has become insolvent and is now in an insolvency procedure. So that's reason one. The bank don't like losing money, and it's a relatively straightforward process to reinstate you. Now, what they'll do, they apply to the court and they give the court basically the proof of debt, and then it's given to the registrar of companies. And then the company's restored to the register. It's quite a simple process. And then the bank and anyone else that you owe money to will be informed of this, and they will restart that collection process and recovery process. So that's option one. It's worth noting, by the way, that this option can be done by anybody that your company owes money to. So if you owed HMRC, they could do it. If you owed a supplier, it's open to everybody. Now, what's quite serious is the authorities will be informed that you've tried to use this loophole to avoid paying back your bounce back loan. And we're now starting to see things like director disqualification, criminal proceedings and personal liability orders against directors. So it's quite serious. Now, another option that you might have is something called an administrative restoration. Now, let's say a company has been removed from the register by mistake, okay? You wasn't aware of the strike off. You forgot to put your confirmation statement in. Your accountant disappeared. There's a number of reasons that I've heard about how a company has been struck off when it shouldn't have been. Now, the directors can apply for something called an administrative restoration. You will need to make sure that all your accounts are up to date, all your confirmation statements are filed, and any penalties that you've incurred by Companies House need to be paid. Now, it can only be done by a director or a shareholder, and if it's successful, your business will be reinstated to the register. Now, again, once it's reinstated to the register and you have these debts, specifically a bounce back loan, it's advisable that you take insolvency advice ASAP before the bank starts and get the company into voluntary liquidation. Remember, folks, if you've took a bounce back loan in your limited company, there's only one way you can close that company legally if that bounce back loan is still outstanding, and that's a liquidation. Be it a voluntary liquidation where you choose an insolvency practitioner to close the company. Remember, that's going to cost you money. Or you wait for a compulsory liquidation where the bank just get fed up of trying to collect the money and then issue a winding up petition against the company. So if you've been wondering what's going to happen to those businesses that have been struck off wrongly, having taken bounce back loans, I hope that sheds some light on the issue. Again, any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Please like this video, please comment. If you're watching us on YouTube, go and subscribe to the channel. My name's Chris Worden